I want to talk about the God concept. Okay. So, if you're like me, maybe you've heard the term the God concept. Maybe you've never heard those words put together before like that. I used to hear it all the time and I didn't have any idea what the hell it meant. Um, I've heard some very intelligent brothers that I admire and look up to use those terms, the God concept, and I didn't know what they were talking about. And then one day it clicked. I was like, oh, that's what they mean. Because these brothers who were talking about the God concept, they would say stuff like God isn't real, and I was like, oh, they don't believe in God. Black men, really? What do you mean God isn't real? But I came to understand that it's not that they were saying that they didn't believe in God. They were saying the God concept is a fallacy and it's not true. And I subscribe to this and I agree with it now. So if you've heard this term or if you haven't, I'll explain to you what the God concept is. The God concept is what you or I'll just use me, what I have been told and led to believe what and who God is. Okay. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in God. Now, God is the English term, and I don't know whoever invented that language or invented that word. I don't know what their original meaning for it was. I don't like that word, but for lack of a better term, this is the language I was taught. I'll say God. We were told that God was a spiritual supreme being that watched over you 24 hours a day and that loved you and gave you life and was the creator of all things, and that he had a mind and a voice, and if you did certain things that he didn't like, you were going to be in trouble spiritually. Your soul was going to be in trouble, right? um I don't believe that at all. That's not my God at all. My God is not a personification. He doesn't watch me. My God is energy. Okay, we're all energy, believe it or not. I'll believe that we're all energy. And of course, if you study, the white man's science, I guess you want to call it that, it's been proven scientifically that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change forms, right? So my God, I'm so sorry for using that word, is energy that is so intelligent, it created itself. It knew exactly what it was doing, yet it didn't. That's God. And we stem from that energy. Your spirit, your soul, my spirit is a part of that energy. That energy went into this body. And I'm me. I'm still me, but I'm part of that. It's this energy is everything. It's the stars, the moon, the universe, nature, the grass, birds, all this kind of stuff. Um, and let me start by giving you guys a little background information. My husband, when we first met, before we were married, when we met, he was a Christian, and I was. I hate to identify with this group of people. Um, I'll just say I subscribe to the Bible. There are groups of people, of brown people who believe that if you go to Deuteronomy 28, that the curses in that chapter fit black people, saying that we are the chosen people of the Bible. I was in it deep. I believed in that. Now, if you see these fools dressed up like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and they yelling stuff on the corner, I don't have nothing to do with that. I don't agree with that. I don't subscribe to that. I've always studied from the privacy of my own home, and I've never followed anyone. Okay? So I hate to identify. I hate to say I was a Hebrew Israelite. Ugh, no, I wasn't. I was just somebody who subscribed. I believe certain things that they believe when it came to that book. Okay. I don't believe in Jesus Christ, and I didn't believe in Jesus Christ when I was still into the Bible. My husband did. He was a Christian. Okay. Um, so anyway, um, I just believe that, this energy. When I say this energy, just know I'm just put God in parentheses, if you will. I don't like saying that word. This energy is conscious, yet it's unconscious. Um, Things happen just the way they're supposed to happen. I've heard people say, listen to the universe. The universe you know, yeah, it's that, but then it's more than that, And I'm not really, I don't, I'm not saying I know for sure. Like I've been studying deep, and I know what I'm talking about. I'm on a journey. It's just my belief. So that's that in a nutshell. I'm gonna just leave it at that, and I will cut the video short, and I'll maybe go more into that in future videos. But I just believe that God is an energy that is very powerful, and we have the power that comes from Him. Um, you know, Eddie Griffin, if you know this comedian, he did a stand-up show one time, and he was talking about the Bible, and he was making a joke. He was like, sometimes, he was like, some kind of way, you just know that it's not right to kill your mother. He was like, you just kind of know in your heart that that's not cool. And I believe that as brown people, before we came in contact with pink white people, as you will, before we came in contact with them, I think we were a peaceable people. I think that, black people act the way they act today. I'm sure you've heard it over and over again, and I'm sorry to sound like a commercial or something, but I think we act the way we act today as a result of slavery and oppression, which is still going on. Still going on. And I think we act the way that we act because of lack of education. Jim Crow laws, civil rights, we weren't able to go to school, read or write. And also we act the way we act because of being deprived and poverty. All of that, slavery, oppression from the past and today, lack of knowledge and education, and lack of knowledge of self, knowing who we are and where we come from. All we've been taught is that we were descendants of slaves, and being forced into poverty and deprived situations. I think all of that has an effect on how we act and how we think. So I don't think that being left alone before we came into contact with these other nations of people, I think that we were very peaceable. Do I think that we didn't have the ability to do bad? I'm not saying that. If you study Kemet, which is also known as ancient Egypt, which is something me and my husband are really deep into now. Some people might call us Egyptologists. I would disagree. I don't really know what that term means. I don't study Egypt. I study history, and I'm just fascinated by the Kemet way of life. I agree with it. There are certain things in history and in life that I agree with, and certain things that I don't. I agree with some of the things in the Muslim faith a little bit. Some I don't. I'm really intrigued, and I'm very agreeable with the Kemetic way of life. And I have Egyptian things around my house. I have African things around my house. I subscribe to the whole continent of Africa. I'm African, but I'm very intrigued when it comes to Kemet. And in Kemet, they have the 42 principles of Ma'at, which was ripped off by the Ten Commandments. And I'm the kind of person that I like to go to the source. So it's bada bing, bada bing. So anyway, the 42 principles of Ma'at, they go: I have not stolen, I have not robbed, I have not lied, I have not, accused falsely and stuff like that. Which, whereas the Ten Commandments say, thou shalt not, you don't do this, you shall not do that, okay? Anyway, if you didn't have the ability to do wrong, then you wouldn't even need the 42 principles of Ma'at, because you wouldn't have to come at the end of the day and say, I have not done this, I have not done that, and I have not done that. Why? Because you don't have the ability to do that. So you didn't do that. But because you do have the ability to do that, and what you also have is the conscious mind, you have the right to make a conscious decision to do right or wrong, okay? Robbing somebody at gunpoint is wrong. Maybe you need to eat. So you're going to decide that you're going to do that. You can decide not to do that. At the end of the day, if you decide to stick hold and steadfast to doing what's right, just like Eddie Griffin said, somehow you just know it's wrong to shoot your mama, right? If you decide to do what's right, at the end of the day, you can recite, you can confess that, which is another word for it, People also call it the 42 confessions, the 42 negative confessions. You can come at the end of the day and you can pride yourself and say, I have not done these things. I have not. I could have, but I didn't. So, yeah, I really dig that. So I'll leave it at that. So please, please, please share your opinions about the God concept and uh, your opinions about my opinion, about what I used to think and believe and what I now think and believe now. Basically, just to give it a short breakdown at the end, I don't think that there is a being watching us, expecting things from us, and if we don't do them, we're in trouble. I don't think that. But I do think there is a supreme power and energy, and we can use that how we want to at our will. And it's just in our nature to use it for good. And I think that that knowledge was stolen from us and is being used against us, which is why things are the way that they are. I just want to make one other point. When I was into the Bible teaches you, believe it or not, if you've read the Bible teaches you that ancient Egypt was bad. It teaches you that they had slaves and that they worshiped many gods. And in the Bible, it says it's a sin to worship many gods and yada, yada, yada. And it tells you that the Bible says that you shouldn't study astrology and astronomy, that that's against God and that's sin. And I mean, I've come into so much knowledge since I've freed my mind and got from under the God concept. So, I mean, if you're a Christian, Muslim, you're welcome. Hebrew, Israelite, all I ask is that be respectful to me. I'll be respectful to you. Um, Please tell me if anything I said makes perfect sense or you don't quite get why I'm talking at all. Just be respectful, and I would love to hear your opinions about that. Again, my name is Hotep Ma'at Moret Talib. I look forward to getting to know a lot of you, and I welcome you to getting to know me better. Feel free to friend me on Facebook. I will put a link to my personal page. And also, I would appreciate it dearly if you would like my page on Facebook titled Phenomenal Black Intelligence. I will put a link to that page as well. Please give your opinions about some of the things I've talked about. And I'll see you when I see you. Have a good one.